Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Landon here. We're going to talk about today's severe weather threat. Today is day number 2 of a 4-day series of potential for severe weather here in the upper Midwest, including western South Dakota. So, as you can see on the screen behind me here, sorry for the shadows, you can see today temperatures are going to be in the 80s today with a chance of severe weather. Tomorrow on Father's Day, the temperatures are going to be in the low 80s to around 90 degrees with, once again, another chance of severe weather. Monday, temperatures are going to be just a couple degrees cooler with temperatures in the upper 70s to upper 80s with another risk for severe weather. Then we're going to cool things off on Tuesday with temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70 or upper 70s with a chance of thunderstorms. And then on Wednesday, temperatures are going to be in the 70s with another chance of thunderstorms. So to talk about today's threat, you can see areas in yellow are slight risk for severe weather. And what a slight risk means is today's hazards are going to be the damaging winds, large hail, lightning. It's going to be late this afternoon into this evening. And then tomorrow, this is what we're looking at for tomorrow. Kind of the same thing for Father's Day tomorrow. You can see areas in yellow, slight risk for severe weather. And that's going to be tomorrow afternoon and evening. For northeastern Wyoming and western South Dakota, same threat. Hail, winds, lightning. Okay. If you give me a second, I'm going to see if I can make an adjustment here. See if that fixes the problem. We'll find out. Nope, did not make it better. Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulties with this morning, and I'm not 100%, and I actually have no idea why I'm having problems with this. The focus on the camera's off, the lighting's not ideal, but this is all just experimental stuff. Switching over to radar. So again, we're talking about the area in yellow. You can see that whole area shaded in yellow, slight risk. So to kind of give you a recap of what happened last night, if I can find, there we go. So what happened last night was there was a trough up here into parts of Wyoming, and that sparked some really large thunderstorms up into Wyoming or into Montana, and that's going to be the triggering mechanism. You can see there's another trough right here right now along I-25 down by Douglas. You can see this low pressure system over here, or just north of I-90, east to I-25 there. That green line's just stationary front, so storms are going to fire along this trough into Wyoming here this afternoon. You can see there's a pretty good clearing right now. Temperatures are hovering in the low to mid 70s here in the Black Hills. Yesterday it was extremely foggy in parts of the Black Hills. And that just kind of dampened the potential for weather to get going yesterday. In the Black Hills. I mean, Fall River County did experience some weather yesterday. With some thunderstorms that came up out of Wyoming from the Douglas-Lusk area. It did produce a pretty nice looking shelf cloud on the leading edge of the storm. But other than that, not really a lot going on. As you see, there's a few thunderstorms out toward the capital, out toward Piers. One still trying to get going right now up in Ziebach County in north central or west central South Dakota there, up by just north of Dupree. Looks like there's another little shower down toward or in between White River and Murdo there along the Millette-Jones County line. But another interesting thing I saw online, let me see if I can pull this up. Because I want to talk about this, because this is just a really rare thing to see. We're going to talk about something weird going on up here in Alaska, if we can. So the area in orange So the area in orange, this is weird. So this is Alaska. You can see Fairbanks. And the reason I'm talking about this is because this is like the first time ever this has happened in Alaska's history, that we got a heat advisory in effect for Alaska. Temperatures in Alaska tomorrow are supposed to be into the 90s. So again, this does include Fairbanks. So that's kind of an interesting thing to keep an eye on, but that really doesn't affect us here in South Dakota, but it's just something interesting to talk about, how the atmosphere is warming. So again, to talk about today's threat, you can see our temperatures. Again, going to be in the 80s today. And there's a lot of humidity in the atmosphere as well today, so that's going to be another driving factor for severe weather days. So we got humidity, we got the moisture coming in off the Gulf, we got heating. So again, tornadoes aren't really going to be a factor today, but you might get a brief spin up one today. But main hazard is going to be hail. We'll talk about hail later on today in our 4 or 5 o'clock broadcast later today when storms get going. So we'll definitely be talking about hail and the updraft speed of which hailstones fall out of the sky and the speed they fall out. The bigger they are, the faster they fall. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be one of our topics, our leadoff topic, once storms get going later on today. So we're just going to sit back for the next 4, 5, 6 hours and see what really develops. The next update from the National Weather Service in the Storm Prediction Center will be this afternoon, around that 2 o'clock range. So we'll have a better idea around 2 o'clock what's going to happen. But our next live broadcast will probably be in that 4 or 5 o'clock, right to lead off the dinner hour this evening. So thank you for tuning in. I'm going to fine tune some video settings because it's really starting to bother me. Thank you for watching.